What's going on, guys? It's your boy Mr. HD, and I'm back with another WoW reaction. I want to laugh at some stuff and make some fun of some stuff. So we're gonna do wrestling bloopers and botches today. So we're gonna watch people fuck up, and we're gonna laugh at it. Hopefully, no one gets hurt. I don't like those botches, the Sid Vicious botch where, a leg snaps off or something. I don't need to see that. You know what I mean? I just want the funny stuff, the mistakes that are harmless and, only hurt people's feelings or egos. That's what I want to see. So we're going to watch this one. And yeah, I think this is all WWE stuff. So let's get right into it.
Professional wrestlers in WWE are the best at what they do.
True.
Sometimes. Even the best of the best occasionally
sometimes.
make mistakes, which leads to some unintentional
Why we got to keep bringing
moments.
this match
Let's
up?
check out some
Why?
of those. I'm D Wicket, and here's 10 hilarious WWE botches that they don't
Yo,
want
I
you to see.
remember that
Number
when
10,
Montez went
Rey
splat.
Mysterio 619's MVP. Or does he? The Royal Rumble often has a number of in-ring returns taking place, with the legends of the business even making a one-off appearance just for the heck of it. At this year's Royal Rumble, MVP made his return to in-ring action for WWE after leaving the promotion back in 2010.
That was a good return,
His
man.
return was
That was
brief,
a
with
dope
him
return.
quickly being dumped out of the ring by an irate Brock Lesnar.
I mean,
but
not the moment,
it was
but
still
just
pretty
his
cool to see
overall
him back in
return.
the promotion. The next night on Raw, he took on the master of the 619, Rey Mysterio, in a singles match. While the match itself was
remember this.
okay, people only talk about this hilariously botched finish that did a massive disservice to two of WWE's most storied
remember
performers.
this.
In the
Yeah.
final sequence of the match, Mysterio set MVP up for the 619, but there was clearly a miscommunication between the two superstars. MVP got up instead of staying in position on the second rope, which resulted in Mysterio pretty much missing the move and just touching MVP in the back, so he sold the move anyway. But it didn't end there, with Mysterio hitting MVP with a splash on the back before flipping him over and picking up the pinfall victory. Mysterio seemed shocked and even asked the referee if it was a 2 count or not. The entire sequence was a complete disaster, in addition to being
It was.
absolutely hilarious.
Damn it.
Here we go. No, look.
He sold it. Look, he's done. He's down. He's down. The kick in the back did it.
Number 9,
I mean,
Montez.
somebody kicked me with 2 feet in the back. I might go down. I'm just saying. I don't want it to happen to me.
Ford's hype gets the better of him. The Street Profits are one of the most energetic tag teams in the history, probably, of all of WWE, with Montez Ford in particular.
Yeah.
Already well known for being the team's hype man since being called up to Raw.
Well,
Ford
Dawkins
has made
is
a
kinda-
habit of dancing.
Dawkins is kind of that guy now, too. Dawkins' personality is like shining through in 2022, and his wrestling ability is kind of just skyrocketed. He got like 300% better in the course of 6 months. I don't even know how it happened. Now he's the hot tag. How did he become the hot tag when you got the super hype guy standing next to you? But Dawkins has had a great year.
With babies, shaking the ropes like the Ultimate Warrior, and randomly screeching stuff at the camera with a crazy look in his eye. On the March 30th episode of Monday Night Raw, the Street Profits, along with Kevin Owens, took on the team of Angel Garza, Austin Theory, and Seth freaking Rollins.
This is when
in
he
a
splatted
six-man
on his
tag
back,
team
right?
matchup. As
Just
is the
whiffed.
case with pretty much every tag team match, it was only a matter of time before all hell broke loose. With everyone pretty much out of commission, Ford got to his knees in the ring, looked at the camera, thumped his chest, and yelled, "WrestleMania!" before hitting Austin Theory with a massive splash outside the ring. But, there was obviously some slight miscommunication, and Ford completely missed Austin Theory, instead of landing back first on the ramp with a resounding thud.
Ouch. Yeah. Oh, this the
He
Thunderdome.
not be fired up with Montez. Look out!
Oh!
Number 8, Cesaro has a little bit of trouble getting out of the ring. WWE Crown Jewel, which
still
took place on
doesn't sound
October
good.
31st last year, was one of WWE's biggest shows, unfortunately, of the year. Despite all public negativity, it doesn't seem like WWE's getting out of this deal with Saudi Arabia. To appease the people pumping millions of dollars into the promotion, WWE usually has a number of legends make an appearance at these events.
Saudi
though
money.
It rarely works out. In addition to pretty much every 50-year-old wrestling at the event, WWE also dusts off Mansoor and has him take on one of the promotion's
Kevin Nash
workhorses
said he
at
ain't want the
event.
money.
The Saudi Arabian wrestler certainly has a fair amount of potential, but he is still pretty green in the ring. So it makes sense that over the last couple of years, WWE has paired him against the likes of Dolph Ziggler and Cesaro. At Crown
Shout out to Mansoor.
Crown Jewel last year, Mansoor predictably defeated Cesaro at the event, and while the match itself was pretty good, it was most fondly remembered from a pretty funny Cesaro botch. Halfway through the match, Mansoor hit the Swiss Cyborg with a dropkick to knock him out of the ring, but Cesaro got caught up in the ropes and ended up just sort of bouncing back and forth for a couple of seconds before he eventually found his way to the outside.
Up over the top. Cesaro rolls through, drop kick by Mansoor, and Cesaro hung up in the rope and bounces to the outside.
Number 7, Paul Heyman drops his client's briefcase. WWE has dropped the ball with the winner of the men's Money in the Bank briefcase winner over the last few years. Back in 2017, Baron Corbin won,
that wasn't
and
the worst
he failed
one,
to
though.
cash in his briefcase successfully. Just like Braun Strowman the next year. Then in 2019, Brock Lesnar, of all people, came out of absolutely nowhere to win the briefcase, even though he was one of the most protected stars in the company and not in the match. Over the next few months, he repeatedly teased a cash-in on Universal Champion Seth Rollins, whose 2019 Super Showdown opened with Seth Rollins defending his championship against Baron Corbin. After picking up a hard-fought victory, Corbin laid out the champion with an end of days, which brought the beast out. With a cash-in just seconds away, Paul Heyman, of all people, tripped on the rope as he entered the ring, dropping the briefcase in the process.
Oh
This
yeah, that
distracted
wasn't
Lesnar,
on
which
purpose.
allowed Rollins to hit him with a low blow, attack him with a steel chair, and lay him out with a stomp. The
Or was it?
contract was never cashed in because of Heyman's little tumble, with WWE proving that it would go to any lengths to tease a cash-in, but not actually have it happen.
Brock Lesnar could not pick a more opportune time. Universal.
Oh my God,
See, I wouldn't call this a
Heyman's so
botch.
excited, he gripped up. Oh, blow by Rollins.
Number 6, the King
'Cause
comes
I'm
falling
not sure
down.
if that was
Baron
on
Corbin's
purpose or
entire
not.
King of the Ring gimmick
I
has
don't know.
really overstayed its welcome, but back in October, he was still one of the hottest heels in the company. During a match on an episode of Raw in October, Randy Orton was joined by King Corbin at the top of the ramp. Corbin, who is obviously wrestling royalty, was seated in a throne with the Viper standing next to him. Corbin's throne, which should have been forged from the purest of gold, actually fell apart during a commercial break. Credit to Corbin, he stayed in character the entire time and went and spoke to Jerry the King Lawler at the announce table while Orton cracked up in the background.
He's
It was an
corpsing back there.
absolutely hilarious moment which took place during a commercial break, but luckily, audience members were on hand to record the moment for our viewing pleasure. Number 5, the devil's favorite demon
Yo,
loses
that's
his
messed
mask.
up.
The Brothers of Destruction
WWE can't
reunited
afford
to
better
take on
furniture.
DX at Crown Jewel in 2018. The match was a big deal because it marked Shawn Michaels' first match since retiring at WrestleMania 26.
Man,
It was
this shit
also
never
a
happened.
bad deal because Shawn Michaels was coming out of retirement since WrestleMania 26. For years, fans thought the Heartbreak Kid would be one of the few wrestlers who actually stayed retired.
God,
but
why
that
didn't he
fat
just stay
paycheck
retired?
just comes
That
along with
fucking
the
Saudi
Saudi
money,
Arabia
man.
was too enticing to pass up on. The match itself was a botch-filled disaster. Not only did Taker and Kane look completely out of shape, but Triple H also tore his pec during the match, and Shawn Michaels just narrowly escaped breaking his neck after a botch dive to the outside of the ring. One of the most memorable moments of the
This
match
was a
had
sad
Michaels and
day.
Kane both on the top of the turnbuckle. Michaels was hitting Kane with multiple strikes to the face, but one errant punch saw him accidentally yank off Kane's mask and wig. Kane immediately fell to the floor clutching his face, while commentators claimed that Michaels literally punched the mask off of Kane's head. Sort of.
Right to the ribs. And now Kane. Shawn Michaels hit Kane so hard that
Number 4, Black Mass misses by a mile. Aleister Black took on Lars Sullivan
Damn it.
in a sort of hard-hitting match for the NXT Championship at NXT
Oh,
TakeOver
man.
Chicago 2. Even though Black was one of the most intimidating strikers on the Gold and Black brand,
True.
it looked like the Freak had the advantage thanks to his sheer size and power. However, Black managed to defend his title in what was a pretty good match, except
God, I
for
love
one
his finishing.
glaring botch. Sullivan turned his back to Black as the champion whipped out a black mass, which caused him to completely miss the kick. Regardless, the Freak sold the move about 5 seconds too late and fell to the canvas, with Black getting a 2 count.
of Aleister Black. And Black
Oh, and he did the thigh slap.
retain and Lars
And he did the thigh
Number 3,
slap.
the
No.
most confused man on earth. The almighty Bobby Lashley accidentally became famous on the internet
He
when he
did a
started
thigh
doing
slap.
the rounds as the most confused man on planet Earth. people began posting videos of Lashley seemingly extremely confused in the ring. One of the most hilarious examples of this saw Lashley unable to understand what his teammates Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin needed him to do. With McIntyre holding Kurt Angle in place and Corbin with the steel steps set up, Lashley walked between both men as they pointed to each other, telling the big man what to do. It took Lashley almost 30 seconds to figure out what he needed to do before the trio drove Angle into the steps.
Corbin's got the steel ring stairs all lined up.
Like next level brutality.
Number 2, Jinder Mahal gets taken down by a phantom whisper in the wind. Jeff Hardy defended his United States Championship against Jinder Mahal at the Greatest Royal Rumble in 2018. Mahal managed to pull off one of WWE's most memorable botches in a 6-minute match. That is true talent. Hardy climbed to the top rope and attempted to hit Mahal with a whisper in the wind. However, he failed to make contact and landed flat.
Oh God, I remember
Mahal,
this.
Mahal, though, the absolute legend that he is, sold the move, despite being about a foot away from Jeff
that was
Hardy.
so bad.
To make matters worse, Hardy actually went for the cover instead of doing damage control. This easily could have been the biggest botch of the night had it not been for Titus O'Neil's epic slide.
Oh God, that was on the same
Hardy
night.
powering through, going up top. And a whisper in the wind, nobody home.
I'm done.
I don't think Jeff Hardy connected at all.
And number 1, Ronda Rousey takes a tumble. Ronda Rousey had a dominant run as the Raw Women's Champion before eventually losing the gold to Becky Lynch in the main event of WrestleMania 35. The baddest woman on the planet defended her title against Nia Jax at Money in the Bank 2018 in what was one of the toughest title defenses of her reign. About 3 minutes in, Rousey tries to lock Jax in an armbar, but the irresistible force powered out of the move by lifting Rousey up and slamming her to the canvas. Rousey somehow makes it to her feet before her opponent, but loses her balance and stumbles out of the ring through the ropes. It was unclear if Rousey was just selling
she
the
was
impact
sloppy
of
a
being
little bit.
slammed to the mat, or if it was a botch. Fans seemed confused, and commentators didn't know what to make of the entire situation either.
Incredible. Nia able to stop Rousey from locking in the armbar and drove the challenger down. Oh, look at
Yo.
Rousey.
And those are 10 hilarious botches that the W.
That can't be number 1 though. There were funnier botches on the list than that, in my opinion. I don't know how that was number 1. Yeah, there were definitely funnier botches on the list. But yeah, those were some WWE botches and bloopers. Those were just pretty funny, lighthearted bloopers and botches. Ronda Rousey falling out the ring is just funny. I mean, people selling 5 seconds after they're supposed to take a move that completely missed. It's a treasure that should always be around in pro wrestling, and I hope more wrestlers do it. It's like you're fighting a ghost. They should. I don't know why Shawn Michaels didn't do that. Like when he was facing Vince McMahon and God. I mean, I guess God was on Shawn Michaels' side, so maybe Vince McMahon should have been selling for the ghost or God in that case. What am I talking about? Anyways, your boy Mr. HD, man. I see y'all in the next video. Deuces.